Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. Before we get started, please go if you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. If you're listening to this on any of our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating and don't forget to subscribe and download the episode. The reason why it's a special episode today is because for the first time in 9 years, I'm talking to one of my favorite guests. He is the CEO of one of the number one online personal training program in the world. And he's the co-founder of the Hitch Fit and Hitch Fit Gyms. Please help me welcome for the first time on the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast platform, Micah LaCerte.
Oh, man, what an intro, Jacob. Thank you so much. I feel very blessed to be back. I was just talking to you a second before we went live, and it's just crazy that it's almost been a decade. But what a blessing to be back on the show and kind of share with your viewers some inspiration, motivation, and hopefully get them moving.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, guys, just to let you know, Mike and I have known each other for a very long time. Micah's was one of the very first guests I had when I was the Jake's Take blog. So you can go back and read an interview with him. And also, the last time that Micah and I corresponded was in 2014. And please give with his wife Diana. Diana, please give us a shout. Micah, please tell Diana I said hello.
Yes, absolutely. I will. She's right upstairs working, but she loves you with all her heart. She's always loved you.
Awesome. And she is one incredible woman. So, guys, 9 years have passed since we last corresponded. So, how have you grown as an entrepreneur since the last time we spoke?
Oh, man, so much has happened. I think it's easy to look at highlights, but I think it's also important to, just talk about different storms and different setbacks and stuff you go through. As an entrepreneur and business owner, you kind of get used to waking up and knowing that something is going to happen that you didn't expect, something uncontrollable. And how I always tell, people about entrepreneurship when I get the opportunity to speak with them is like, you got to learn how to hit the curveball. You always want that fastball down the plate that's perfect, that you can hit a home run, but sometimes, that just doesn't happen. It's very, very rare, actually. And so you're kind of just, navigating through storms. Through that, you go through a lot of growth. You put your head down, go through the storms and go through growth. And then hopefully you come out with more wisdom at the end. And ultimately, in the past decade, essentially, that's kind of what has happened. We've helped now clients in 81 countries lose over 600,000 pounds. And I tell you what, we started in an attic with absolutely nothing but a lot of heart and a lot of passion in helping other people transform their lives. And we worked. We worked hard, we worked smart, and we worked honest. We kept those principles. And fast forward to today, we live a very, very blessed life. And foundationally, we're on a really good page, and just being able to wake up and passionately do what we love every single day.
And I'm so happy to hear that. That is just amazing. 600,000 pounds of fat is no laughing matter. And 81 countries, that is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I tell people, they're like, how did you grow it to that point? And I said, I focused at one person at a time. And each opportunity that I had to either speak to someone, to work with someone, whether it be I'm at the grocery store or whether I'm, online and it's a client, like I give a part of my time to someone and some motivation and education. You have no idea what people are going through, but we know people are going through a lot. And so sometimes it's as simple as just saying hello, a smile, or just a little bit of motivation of like, hey man, you got this and whatnot. So keeping myself in shape kind of opens up that opportunity too. We all want to look good. We want to feel good, but it's also a really amazing opportunity for others to be like, man, I used to be in good shape or whatnot. And it gives you kind of just that open door to then kind of, plant some seeds in them.
And that's amazing. And here's the thing, Micah. I cannot believe that 2024 next year, 15th anniversary of HitchFit. That's just unreal.
It's crazy. Well, the anniversary is in February, because you got to remember we started the online before we did the brick and mortars. And I tell you what, I mean, it goes by so quick. And we talk about this, the older we get, how fast time goes by, how time is our biggest asset, to use it wisely and whatnot. But to look at the business and see how far it has come from being pretty much one of the pioneers in that space with online personal training and doing it on MySpace and that platform back in the day, to now being able to really be able to speak to large audiences, whether it be on social media platforms or in person now. I mean, it's just, what a blessing, what an opportunity. And I just encourage people, find your passion, put the passion before making money, put the passion before everything except for passion, people, finances, put it down the line. I know we got to pay our bills, we got to do all of that. But if you put those other two things first, like, the money will come. You get a lot of joy out of helping other people and following your passion. So I encourage you to do that.
And you're amazing, because Mike, just let everyone know, Micah helped me continue my fitness journey, and inspire, because I started my fitness journey back in 2012 at Meshuggah CrossFit, and now it's gone on to CrossFit 913. Now it's rebranded as Kansas Athletic Club. But Micah, talking with you definitely inspired me to have confidence, not just in getting myself into shape, or try to get myself into the best shape, into my version of best strength wise, but also have confidence talking to all these incredible people I met over the years, such as Drew Manning, and people who've been on American Ninja Warrior, or some of the people from the challenge like Joss Mooney and Paulie Calafiore, who have had success with what their online fitness brands. But Micah, I got to give you the kudos you deserve, because without you, I wouldn't have had the confidence I've had to interview fitness entrepreneurs.
Well, I tell you this, man. I mean, I know you're giving me praise right now, but I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. Any coach that's out there that puts people first knows that we get far more out of it than they actually do. They're transforming their lives, but for us to be a part of that, we get a little piece of that as well. And I remember where you were at mentally. I remember where you were at physically way back, in early 2010, 11, in that area. And then for you to, make the choice, because you got to make the choice to make change. But then you started getting that feeling of being stronger and being healthier, and what that did for not only your physical state, but even more importantly, your mental state. And it's just something like I always tell people, I'm extremely obsessed with seeing people get better, and we have these tools in front of us with fitness and lifestyle and eating right that can literally change your life and really have a ripple effect across the board for a lot of people around them. And so it's why I wake up so happy, so passionate every single day to continue encouraging that word.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, Mike has seen over thousands of success stories, thousands. And Micah, I bet it's very difficult to narrow down a couple, but I have to ask you, what are some of the most memorable success stories?
So, I've thought about that over the years. I've got that question multiple times. One that really hits my heartstring is a guy named Rob Elsey. He's very popular in Hitch Fit world. We call him Ripped Rob. So I nicknamed him that when he was still 100 pounds overweight. And essentially, he had come in day one, and a month before that, him and his wife were in Mexico. He had a really scary situation where he almost died due to obesity-related issue. He was in his 50s. And, he came in day one, and Jacob, if you know me really well, you know that I'm very honest, sometimes honest to a point where it can hurt. If it could potentially help somebody, I'll be that honest. And with him, he came in and he was just a loving, happy guy. You saw this big smile, but I also saw somebody that was killing himself with food. I knew that there was an addiction issue there with food. I knew that every emotion was tied back to food. He had a root of an issue that was bigger than the food, but he was using food to essentially try to cover, that pain that he was dealing with. And so that first day I was really harsh with him, Jacob. I sat him down and I said, Rob, You're the fat, funny guy that's going to die in 5 years. Your wife didn't sign up for this. Fast forward 1 year later, 1.5, 2 years later, he's down 115 pounds. He adopted 2 children. He started an organization called In the Name of Grace that helps addicts get off the street and in healthy homes. He is in his mid 50s now, 50, I believe he's 58 now, 57 now. And, he's continued to live a very healthy lifestyle. It has changed every aspect of his life. And so when I go through success stories, the ones that hit me the most are the ones I tell people. Some people go through transformation and it's change. Some people go through transformation and it's saving. His life was saved because he trusted me and followed the direction that I gave him. And still to this day, I speak with him, at least once or twice a week, and we're still extremely close. And he just tells me everything that's going on in his life that's amazing. And to also touch base, there had never been a man in his immediate family that lived over the age of 60. Rob will.
That's just amazing. And congratulations, Rob. You are truly an inspiration.
He is. And over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with quite a few other stories of people, but the ones that kind of hit me hard are the ones that have not had the easiest of lives, that have gone through maybe massive trauma or abuse or some sort of situation that has essentially derailed them to the point where, it's hard for them to even look at themselves in the mirror. A lot of what we do is not just, hey, here's a diet, here's a workout. We're going in and we're putting purpose back into these people's lives, teaching a lifestyle of loving themselves again, and confidence and energy and all the things that come with working out and eating right. And I always tell people, I don't think that I'm the best trainer in the world, but what I'm really, really, really good at is brainwashing people into believing themselves. And that's why I've had so much success, because I listen and I open myself up. I get vulnerable myself to open these other people up, and then their lives are changed. And that's how I become successful.
And you are doing an incredible job, Micah. You are doing a fabulous job, you and your entire team. And speaking of your team, I have seen a lot of you have had some of the best trainers and coaches come in and lead and learn from a lot of them. And I've seen a lot of them go on and found their own success in building their own things. So, however, the bottom line is, how to pick out talent, my friend.
Yeah.
When it comes to athleticism and former trainers with that. AJ comes to mind, Justin comes to mind, Christian comes to mind. Those are the people that come to mind and have started off with HitchFit, but also grown their brand because of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the amazing things about being a part of the Hitch Fit team, and all of those guys and anyone that has worked with us will understand that, they get to not only learn this system that is very unique to us in Hitch Fit and transformation model, but they also get to kind of see a lot of the behind the scenes on how we deal with people, on how we deal with situations, the marketing side of it and whatnot. And so they get a vast amount of knowledge. So the people that have moved on, that have started their own businesses or continued in the fitness industry in some sort of way, I hope that they've got some pearls from us and some nuggets from us that we're able to utilize in their own their own lives and their own business going forward.
Absolutely. So what do you look in for trainers who want to work with you and Diana and a Hitch Fit brand?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this has evolved. This has been one of the most difficult things. Anyone that owns a business, they'll probably tell you the same thing. The most difficult part is probably the hiring. And then when it comes to either them moving on or termination or whatever that may be, those are kind of the hardest things that end up happening within a business. And from a hiring standpoint, we've really grown in that aspect, because initially we really looked for a specific look and someone that knew fitness and whatnot. What we found within Hitch Fit was, and our most successful trainers had never really been trainers before. And they came in because we didn't have to do any level of deconstruction. All they knew was HitchFit. And so we were able to go in, maybe they were old transformations that wanted to be coaches. We've had lots of those that have been successful. And so we go in and teach them this system of, hey, put the people first. Don't put the sale first. If these people aren't ready, shake their hand and let them know that you're there when they're actually ready. But until then, it's probably not the right timing. I mean, being that honest gets you, that foundation of continuous clients, for on and on. I mean, we're almost a decade and a half in a personal training world, which is very, very rare. And we've been profitable almost every single month since we've been open. And that comes down to the fact that I didn't actually put the money first. I put the people first, and highlighting and lifting those people up. And so these trainers, they get just such an amazing opportunity, and being with us from a financial standpoint do well, but they get to be a part of a team. And we run a really tight ship when it comes to the choices that they're making in and out of the gym. Making sure that they represent HitchFit and represent the rest of the team in a way that is about lifting other people up and about loving other people and really teaching and living the fitness lifestyle. So those are kind of some attributes that I look at. But the second thing I would say that is really big is them being a fit with the other group. Like that's a big deal, because as our teams have changed and evolved, the number one thing we have to look at is the culture of the gym. And so, it can be a little bit interesting when you have a lot of different personalities and walks of life. And I love diversity in the gyms. I love a lot of different walks of life, but that can sometimes be a little bit difficult to manage too. So they got to be able to really fit together really well, have an extreme passion for helping other people, and really, show up to work and really give a part of themselves. I think those are the main attributes that I look at when we're hiring at this point.
Awesome. There's one team member I want to give you please tell Eric Reynolds I said hello.
Oh, I love Eric. Yeah. And what's funny about Eric, and a lot of people don't know this, is how I met Eric is he officiated our wedding. And yes, and so a lot of people don't know this. And Eric was not in a good, healthy spot at that point. He was overweight. And so we had this big fitness wedding. All these fitness people. We had a Magnum chocolate protein fountain. We had hardly any liquor. Like, it was like a true fitness wedding. And he was telling his video guy or music guy, he's like, oh my gosh, all these people are super fit, but that inspired him, and he went and he dropped, I think, 30 or 40 pounds on his own. I saw him randomly in a Costco, and he's like, Micah, I've thought about this for a long time. He had been a pastor for quite some time, and he was like, I really want to come and help people transform their lives. And he's been with us, I believe, 8 years or close to that, and he's our longest trainer that we've had with the group that we have right now. And we absolutely love Eric. Absolutely. But I'll tell him you said hi.
I will. Eric, if you're listening and watching, keep up the great work. You are awesome, my friend.
Yep.
All righty. So, Micah, you have seen so many challenges over the years, and you've done a lot to overcome them. So how have you overcome those obstacles?
Oh, man. I mean, we can talk about a lot of different obstacles that take place. Foundationally, our faith is extremely important to us. And so we lean on that a lot in tough times. We also know, though, that storms, and I've talked about this a lot, but storms are, a lot of people get worried about storms or resistant. You get to a point, at some point in your life, and I hope that you do, that you look at storms at potential for growth. And it's a potential for self-growth, whether it be within the business or your personal lives or whatnot. So I'll share with you guys, a story that recently has been probably the biggest storm that we've ever had to go through. And it happened 4 months ago, I think 4 months ago, almost to the day. So we have a third business, and I don't even know if you know about this, Jacob, but we have a third business called Rockbody Retreats. And we do these fitness retreats all over the world. We bring groups of people together and we lift them up from faith to finances to fitness to fun to family and relationships. And our last retreat, we had about 90 people in Mexico. It was fantastic. But we had our business partners, Brittany and Travis, we've been in partnership and in relationship with them for over a year. And February of this past year, Travis tragically passed away. And I tell you what, like, I get emotional now. Travis was like a bigger than life unicorn type of human being. Just this positivity. You would have loved him, Jacob, and I wish I could have shared him with you. But you know, it has been probably the hardest storm that we've ever had to deal with, like within the business, but also personal, because this guy was a best friend to us, but also a business partner. And like, you know, what do you do with the business? Like, Trav is gone, but Britt's still there, and they have, 11-year-old twins and whatnot. So we've navigated through this extremely challenging storm, and just amazing how many positive things have happened. You never want to see someone pass, but it's impacted so many people's lives to make change in their own life because of how much impact that man had on so many people.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of how you and Diana were able to come in and help rebuild Rockbody and survive. That is one storm that you cannot go that could possibly break people, but to be in awe of how you guys turn that thing into a blessing and turn that into that with Rockbody. I'm just so proud of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that anyone can prepare for. When we lose someone that is dear to us, especially when it's kind of a tragic and sudden situation and way too early in their life. At 47 years old, he passed away. But I always tell people, I was like, Trav lived a life in his 47 years that was more than most people live in their entire lifetimes. I mean, this guy was everywhere. And we had the great opportunity, there was about 6,000 or 7,000 people that watched online for his celebration, and a couple hundred in person. And Diana and I had the opportunity to speak on his behalf and stories about Trav. We had only known Trav in person really for only a year, but he was a part of our circle, and it was really hard to get in our circle. And that, him and Britt, it's just what a blessing it was. And to see him grow in that period of time, with decisions that he was making and his faith, it all just completely like God knew when it was going to be his time, but at the same time, like, all these things had to come into place. So we had the opportunity and the blessing to come into his life at such a pivotal point in his life and near the end of his life. And make an impact that we needed to, but also be there to help carry on Rockbody and his vision. And that's what we're going to work really hard to do.
I know that you and your team, you, Diana, and the entire Rockbody team are going to do incredible things. And speaking of incredible things, you guys have a couple of retreats coming up.
We do. So
you have one in Asheville, North Carolina, and then the Lean in Level Up Conference.
Yes. So both of them we're very excited for. So this is our first adventure retreat. And so when we were thinking, when Trav was still here, we were thinking about different concepts for the retreats. You have the Mexico treats with the resorts and the beach and whatnot. And that's always, it's an amazing feel and it's an amazing deal. But we wanted to kind of diversify Rockbody and have different retreats, similar principles, whatnot, but now we're going to go do adventure stuff where we're doing zip lining, whitewater rafting, and hiking and lifting people up, but out in nature and just seeing the beauty of all of that. So a really kind of a thrilling and exhilarating type of experience for them. So we're real excited about that. That's in September. And then the Level Up conference. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a long time. So Diana is finishing up her book. It's a business book, really fantastic. We were doing a little bit of seminar stuff before COVID happened, and then COVID happened and shut everything down. But she then added more to the book, so she's going to be publishing that pretty soon. And then I personally am working on my own personal story. And a lot of people know kind of where I'm at now, but they don't know how I got there. And the first 20 years of my life were really, really bad and horrific. And I went through a lot of hard stuff. And so I'm going to be sharing that for the first time with a large audience. And in my hopes, I think it's the next chapter of my life of, I love helping people. This is going to be a completely different layer and an opportunity for me to get into these people's lives and to help them if they've gone through anything that maybe I have.
First of all, I'm excited for your books, and same with you and for Diana's book. It's going to be incredible reading. If you need a moderator, let me know.
Absolutely.
I am volunteering.
All right.
All righty. So I cannot wait for those books. I want to learn about the Lean In Level Up, because it feels like Rockbody feels more like a retreat and also with adventure. So what is Lean In Level Up?
Yeah, so we wanted to, with the books, a lot of times if you go towards like a publishing company, for instance, a lot of times they then are essentially a partner, an investor in you that helps you build, opportunities to speak and everything else. Well, we just were feeling called to I don't want to jump through all those hoops of what that entails. Let's just build our own platform and have control of it, speak where we want, when we want, and how we want. And so essentially that's what the Lean In Level Up conference is. So it's going to be a mix of, me sharing my story, Diana with the business, but those 4 pillars that we talk about with finances, with fitness and health, with family and relationships, and with faith. We're going to have masterminds at the conference, and we have some really awesome guys and ladies that are going to end up coming and speaking. So we have little breakout sessions that may discuss, for that entrepreneur that is looking to build their business bigger, or a breakout session that may be, relationship stuff and marriage and whatnot, and just some amazing folks. We'll have some keynotes. Marcus Collius of Magnum, who's a dear friend of ours. He has committed to it. So, we're just kind of leaving it in God's hands. We're being obedient and working really hard to make it work. But that will be down in Tampa at the end of January. The last weekend of January is when that is. And so we're working hard. Now, we've done a lot of different events. We used to do WBFF events and Hitch Fit events, but this event is much different. This is a different type of event. But I think we can be equally as successful. And regardless of how many people end up showing up, it's important for us to just spread the word that we need to spread and impact the people's lives that are there.
That is so cool. And I'm so excited about that. And I'm so glad Marcus is involved as well.
Yeah.
Marcus and I follow each other on Instagram, so I got to give a shout out to Marcus.
Yeah.
All right. So we got to talk about social media and how that what are your favorite platforms for social? Do you have one that you'd stick to, or are you staying on one platform, or are you thinking about going to TikTok, or are you thinking about going to somewhere else?
So a lot of people don't know this. So I wake up at 3 a.m. every morning. My schedule is pretty similar every single day. In the morning is when I build a majority of my social content. And so I manage 17 pages across all platforms, and I write all my own content. I don't pay for that. We don't do any of that. Everything is internal, but it's something that I thoroughly enjoy. I love storytelling. I love speaking about other people. I love sharing things that are positive and using our platforms for good. So when you're looking at social media, every single platform is slightly different. You got to look at the demographics you have and, what people want on each different network, because it's kind of unique with each one. Instagram, for instance, I built a page, and this was just like a social, where I was going to go, okay, how many people can I build on this page based off this niche I'm about to tell you? So I have this page called Mr. Hitch Fit, and Mr. Hitch Fit, a year ago, I had about 4,000 followers. Okay. And I came up with this idea that I am going to make it, majority of it, make it based off of calves, but not calves in like a weird way. Calves in a, I know in the fitness industry, a lot of guys don't train their calves properly. And it's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. And I built really good calves over the years, but I wasn't born with them. And so I built all these calf pages. And I tell you what, I built it now. I think I'm about to hit 75 or 76,000 followers. So like almost about 70,000 followers in a year, all organic. I didn't pay for any of them or anything like that, using Instagram Reels. And, so you got to understand the algorithms of the different networks. You got to understand what your audience wants and kind of what you're trying to portray, whether it be a personality or an education or inspiration, whatever it may be. And then really kind of have a different message for each one. I don't do hardly any of that when it comes over to Facebook, like the calf stuff, other than the injury and the stuff that I went through with that. And so Facebook is much more personal. A lot of my personal life I utilize for Facebook. When I go over to, platforms like LinkedIn, LinkedIn is much more business. So what I'm doing is I'm talking to more of a business owner, an entrepreneur, highlights that come through that. And so I think, depending on what network you're on, you got to change the language and your focus on each one of them. And that's why I personally enjoy the control of it, because I know what my people are looking for, and I also can convey that message the way that I need to.
Absolutely. And I first of all, I got to commend you. Anything above 10 pages of content is just amazing. Is just
Yeah.
and like I do, in addition to my stuff, I also work with Jewish Family Services. So combined, that's 10. But when you drop that number, I'm like, holy guacamole, my friend.
Yeah. And it's not just writing, because you got to make the content too, whether it be videos or whatever it is that you're doing. And so, and the inspiration really comes almost every single morning. So whatever it is that I'm going through in life, or whatever, maybe I read a story or whatnot, I get my inspiration from that. I wake up and I'm thinking about, what happened a year ago? And then, you can kind of tell a story from that. So I really enjoy the storytelling aspect of it.
Awesome. So second to last question, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this question comes back from one of our very first conversations we've done, but however, it's so relevant now. If you had a chance to meet with people that are struggling on their fitness journey, what advice would you share with them?
So I think the main thing that we hear a lot is that people are seeking motivation, and they need motivation, and that's why they're not moving. And what I will tell you is you don't need motivation, because motivation is like a roller coaster. There's ups and downs to that. What's consistent is discipline. Once discipline is in place, and a lot of people get scared of that word, discipline, because they're like, that means that I'm not going to be able to do this or this or this or this. You gotta determine what your priorities are in your life. If being healthy, being fit, looking your best, feeling your best become a priority, then you got to get disciplined with that. And that means building a structure, being consistent day in, day out. This doesn't mean that every once in a while, if you want to go have some pizza, you go have some pizza. I'm talking about really eliminating a lot of the negative things and those temptation doors that you're continuing to leave open every single day, that are preventing you from getting to where you want to be. The other thing that I would think about is, like, we can't do anything to change yesterday. And all we can do is be present in where we're at now. So focus on the day, make as many positive choices as you can. Start trying to eliminate the people, places, and things. And people can be difficult sometimes, because those are kind of your surrounding. But if you look at the circle that you're in, you got to ask yourself, are all those people that I strive to be more like? Are all these people living a life that I want to be more like? And if they're not, it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that you can't share love with them. It just means that your immediate circle needs to be people that are going to lift you up and help you get to where you want to be, and vice versa. And then as far as the future goes, it's really good to set goals, short-term and long-term goals, but you also got to make specific plans of action when it comes to those goals. You can't go, I want to lose weight. Well, I mean, I could teach you how to lose weight in one day by using the restroom, and you're going to lose weight. What you have to be specific about is, like, how much weight do I want to lose? How am I going to do it? And what am I going to do every single day differently to make sure that goal happens at that particular point? And so those are kind of some just pearls of wisdom that I would give to people that are kind of in a rut, that need some change in their life. And lastly, there is nothing better than feeling healthy every single day. Like, I'm happy, I'm energetic and whatnot. This isn't a fake thing. Like, I feel fantastic, and most people don't actually know what it feels to be healthy. And so I encourage you, just start making better choices within weeks, especially with food and activity. You get those things a little bit tighter and a little bit better. Week by week, day by day, you're going to start feeling better, and you're going to see that motivation increases. But even on the days that you don't feel like going, you show up because you want that workout high.
Amazing pearls of wisdom, Micah. Amazing. So final question, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All righty. First of all, if they're interested in Hitch Fit and they're in Kansas City, where can they go to? Second question.
HitchFitGym.com for, we have 2 locations, one in Parkville and one in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right. So next question. If they're online, if they're listening to this online and they're somewhere in the United States or the UK, Australia, or Japan, and they're interested in getting in shape with HitchFit, where can they find out about more information about the online?
So that one is just HitchFit.com. And like you said, Jacob, it doesn't matter where you live in the world. We can help you transform. Just be ready for change.
Awesome. If they want to go to the Rockbody, learn more about Rockbody retreats and the Rockbody program, where can they find out more information?
Rockbodyretreat.com. And we have the Lean and Level Up, and we have the Asheville retreats on there. We have some spots left for that Asheville retreat. And then we constantly, as we build a new retreat, it will be posted on that site.
Wonderful. And finally, where can it connect with you on social media?
So social media, you got Instagram, that's Mr. Hitch Fit. Especially if you want to grow your calves. I do a lot of that, but there's a lot of inspiration and education there as well. Instagram, we also have Hitch Fit. That's where all the success stories, transformations we utilize. On Facebook, just look up Micah LaCerte. I'll be there. I communicate a lot on there through Messenger and whatnot. LinkedIn is under Hitch Fit. Micah LaCerte on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of them. If you look up my name, you can find all the social media. But if you ever have any questions or whatnot, I love helping people. And so, just reach out and I'll help you.
Awesome, Micah. So, guys, if you miss an episode of the Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar podcast, visit our channels on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker. Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And Micah, in August, Jake-Shake.com is turning 12.
Wow, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much, Micah. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, Micah. This was an amazing conversation. Let's not wait 9 years.
No more. Not 9 more years. And next time I'll bring Diana on too.
Well, perfect. And I cannot wait to talk about her book with both of your books.
Yes.
Both of your books. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.